earlier, and just saying, look, every match is a gold medal match here, and you can't take anybody for granted. So just go in, do your game, play your game, get the job done, and worry about the final when it comes up.
And then we've got in the plus 78 kilo category, Marie Suellen Altherman of Brazil up against Brigitte Rose. Again, I haven't seen Brigitte Rose. And then Emily Andiol of France against Mariam Al-Bloshi of the UAE. Altherman and Andiol looking set, really.
Yeah, I don't know if it's unfortunate or fortunate. I mean, for the other two girls, it's going to be an experience. You can never tell if it's a positive experience, though. It's how they handle it at the end.
We've got the first of the semi-finals in the under 90 kilo category taking place now. It's an all Uzbek matchup between Dilshod Choriev and his teammate Sherali Juraev. It's Choriev in the white judogi and Juraev in blue. Juraev had a slightly tricky quarter-final against the Austrian Max Schönhofer. Just beat him out in a Shido, whereas Choriev, well, he fairly put it on Anai.
Yes, he gave Anai quite a run for his money.
He overpowered him. You know, Anai couldn't really come up with those nice looking techniques. We're talking about Anai Rioe, not Anai Takamasu, who fights, you know, in another weight category. But this particular Anai just couldn't seem to get going. There was a power body that he had to deal with. And Choriev just overpowered him. Scored a Yuko with Kosadagaki to take it.
We were talking about it with Neil, and we were just saying, look at his judo kit. I mean, he flexes like this, and his back is just tight. There's nothing to grip there whatsoever.
He just showed it there, didn't he? The Kosadagaki just hooked in there. I dare say that Juraev knows him pretty well. There he goes again, left-sided. You can't clasp the hands, but he's got different ways of bringing that off. One around the waist, one up under the armpit, and up around the shoulder.
Well, that's the thing. With fighters, we're always looking for other ways. You change the rules, they're going to adapt quite quickly. You know, it's not an option to totally throw away years' work of a technique. You've got to find another way around, and we do that when we're injured. If you have a knee injury, or for me it was a shoulder injury, I had to totally change my gripping. I kept my same techniques, but I had to change the gripping style.
Juraev and Juraev slightly bent over. They both can feel what's coming.
I suspect they fight each other quite often. It'd probably be like fighting your shadow.
I wouldn't be surprised if they'd warmed each other up this morning, because there was another Uzbek, but he was in the weight above, so he probably went off and did his own thing, and the two of them were left to it. That happens. You know, two of you turn up at some stage. You may end up fighting each other, but you can't go to opposite ends of the training hall, really.
Do you know what? I think they're lucky. I never had a training partner. The 66 kilo for me was at my...
Poor fella.
Oh, no, it was girls then.
I was going to say. Wow.
I dated myself again. The 66 kilo girl was up to my shoulder, who actually is Catherine's older sister.
I didn't know her.
Yes, Sophie Robage.
No, I didn't
she
know
went
her.
to 2000 Olympics for Canada, and she was my training partner for all her sins.
A little over 2 minutes left on the clock, and neither fighter looking really dangerous. It's kind of shadow boxing at the moment and getting good position, but they know each other well, I think.
I think it'll be a case of the first mistake.
Yeah. One's on the board already, but that's a penalty. Choriev was guilty of 2 transgressions of the rules, and he's given up a penalty, so it's Juraev who leads with 1 minute and 40 odd seconds left to go. Choriev's face looks bruised. I don't know, he hasn't been on the mat a great deal, but he's obviously picked up a few bruises, and I must have given him something to think of in that opening contest.
I'd like to see the pace a little bit more. I mean, both
just pick it up a little bit. Yeah,
They seem to both be breathing pretty hard. So maybe there's not anything left in the tank.
Neither of them have really raced at it, have they? Fairly measured performance by both of them. Choriev has shown that left-sided Kosaragaki a couple of times, but hasn't quite come up with it, and almost slipped there. Just as he went in, the feet seemed to slip on that mat.
I'd hate to say it, but it's almost looking like half-hearted attacks to me here. I'd like to see full commitment.
Full-blooded.
Yeah. Oh, see, been proven wrong again. That happened to me all last night.
Just what you asked for.
Ippon.
No, I think it's going to be called Wazari. Yeah, for me it was a good Yuko and maybe Wazari. See, look, there's not enough of his back there.
When I'd say Yuko for that one.
When you can see Choriev, Uzbekistan, for me that's a fairly good guide.
So you shouldn't see the patch at all, really.
Yeah.
Oh my. Conference call?
Yeah, I think it's to confirm the score, because Marek signalled Ippon, but it's away from him. Not necessarily a mistake, because he sees that. But he could have waited a little bit longer for his colleagues to help him out. And it's, as we said, so we go to collect the badges when they're finished.
I think so. Leave it to the experts.
It was. It was Ludwig Pescher that was up here yesterday, and Nick Kossor, and we were talking about the number of times that fighters can get the score right, despite the fact that they have no referee training, and it's a learnt memory. You know what Yuko looks like. You know what Wazari looks like. No one's told you. Here is the clinical definition, verbally, of what Yuko is, what constitutes Yuko Wazari, because it is there.
I think it's because we've felt it as well.
That's another thing.
Talk about muscle memory. Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you get up and you're sure it was a Wazari and you see it's being awarded Ippon, and it's gutting, absolutely gutting, because you've felt it. you've had half your back on the...
You asked for a score, and he delivered. Juraev came up with a much more concerted effort, and that resulted in the second Yuko on the board, one from a penalty and one from a score, a good score as well. 13 seconds left to go. It doesn't look as though Choriev is going to be able to pull that back, and he's going to end up with a bronze medal.
I don't think he wants it.
Yeah, he's had a quick look at the clock there and thought, I'll leave this.
No.
Yeah. Slight frustration. What can I do? Just threw out his hands off. What can I do? But Juraev it is who's going to fight for the gold medal. Choriev gets to take points, a check, and a medal home. He won't be too disappointed. And he chalked that one up to experience.
Good experience?
No, a bad one. 85 on the world ranking list. Place 6. Choriev was the number 1 seed here, and his teammate has the honour and pleasure of putting him out. Won't trouble Arman Bagdasarov that much, because whichever way you look at it, there was always going to be an Uzbek in the final. And Juraev has looked pretty good today. Just get the feeling with some of the top seeds that it's like when you just get in the car and you begin to turn on the things that should work for you. If it's a win today, you got to wait for a little bit for the demist to work and the heat to get up.
Yes.
And this is what it's like. They're just getting the engines going.
That's it. Well, I think that's the problem with. I mean, at least they've had the preliminaries that they can fall back on. They've had a bit of a warm up in the preliminary round. I mean, that's the big thing that we're promoting with our development in our business, and that with elite athletes, is the importance of